Hey everybody, so today's been a pretty good day. Today is April 1st, and you know what that means. April Fools and pranks and everything. I had this amazing idea this morning. Well, I thought it was amazing. You can judge if you want. But what I did, I have this big ion speaker with a microphone that came with, and what I can do, I just like hook it up, and there's a microphone setting and everything. So this morning, before my dad got up, he usually comes downstairs around 7:30. I got up at 6:30, and I came down to the basement to get my speaker. I pulled it up to the basement door, which is like right where my dad would walk by to go from the upstairs all the way downstairs to the kitchen. So it's like from the living room to the kitchen, and like here's the door. So like he'll be walking from the living room, kitchen, door, and I'll be right there. So I waited for about an hour actually at the door. Had the settings up and everything. I was ready. I was just so ready to scare him. I heard him coming down the stairs like bum 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 bum. And I turned on the microphone, bah, and nothing. I got a little reaction of him going, and it was so sad. I was really hoping to get something bigger, but then I saw he had his phone, and I thought, oh no, he's in a meeting. So I went over and he said, huh. So Jesse apparently decided to scare me for some reason, and I said, it's April 1st, April Fools, and he was like, oh, apparently it's April 1st. Apparently he was just doing, he was having his small group this morning, and like over the phone, because we're in quarantine. Today's day, I think it's day 11. Let's see if it is. I'm just gonna check my channel actually. Yeah, today's day 11. Anyways, yeah, so that didn't go as planned, but at least I got to wake up with the sun, so that was pretty nice. I love doing that. I miss getting in that routine. Let's see what else. I also, oh yeah, I had class at 3 o'clock. I read my book before that. I am one chapter away to finishing it. There might be a day where I talk about that book, but until then, I'm just gonna call it my book. So there is a, where am I going with that sentence? I don't know where I was going with it, but yeah, so did that. What did I do today? I have no idea what I did. That's kind of scary. I don't know, let's see, what did I do before class? Wow, I'm all types of confused right now. There's just like 5 hours of my day that I just not accounted for. Oh yeah, that's what I did. I worked on my geology project. So yeah, my geology project is we have to take the answers from surveys. Just online. We gotta find the surveys and we gotta put them in a presentation, and about a county of our choosing. I chose Pope County, which, because I actually had this huge plan about this. Pope County in Illinois hosts like the main part of Shawnee National Forest, and if you know anything about camping, then national parks are free. So yeah, I was going to go down there, and what he said, to present it however you want, just send it to him. You can do a presentation in class, you can do a poster board, you can do a paper. I thought, I'm gonna do a video, so I was gonna like set up my campsite down there, and I love camping. It's just so much fun, and I'll take my ukulele as well and bother the neighbors. Uh, Let's see. So yeah, now national parks are closed, so I can't really do that. If they open back up, I might go down, but it looks like we're gonna be stuck inside until the end of April. So that sucks. We're in here for another 30 days. But yeah, so I did that. Oh yeah, so my dad's friend works for this. I think that's a system, maybe. I don't know. He works for some company that made this thing called Enduvo, which is like a training VR kind of thing. It's like a VR program that you can make different training videos in VR. And it's like crazy because what you can also do, then other people will come in and they'll be able to look around your setup, move the models or whatever. Like let's say this, or don't judge me, I have Oreos in my office, okay? So let's say let's say that this Oreo is just floating right here in thin air, and like in VR. And like what a student can do, they can come up to it, enlarge it, shrink it, open it up, see what's inside, move it, all sort. I think I broke some Oreos. All sort of stuff, and it's really cool. Then yeah, so then I was about to. Well, I finished my class today, so not too bad of a day. Class actually took a lot shorter, and because it's in person, it's easy. Well, not in person, because it's online. It's actually easier to, and like there's only 20 minutes of class. I have more time to spend to do the reading, which is on like he shortened the reading a good 5 pages. It was like 6 pages. Now it's like just 1 page of reading or whatever. And I don't know. It just makes it kind of easier. I'm a very slow reader. For those of you who don't know. So yeah, it just makes it. You can turn this over. Ha! That's crazy. Okay, I'm gonna do that. Wow. I'm fascinated by that now. Yeah, so that was my day. Now, to all of you out there that just think that this all is just a very sad situation, it is a very sad situation, and my heart goes out to everybody who's struggling with this virus and the quarantine and everything. I'd like to play you this little song from a guy named Israel. I can't pronounce his last name. It's a song called Over the Rainbow, Wonderful World. Alright, here is Over the Rainbow by Israel. Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high. I gotta find a key. And the dreams that you dream to dream once in a lullaby. Oh, somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly, and the dreams that you dream of, oh, dreams really do come true. Oh, someday wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds far behind me. Oh, somewhere trouble melts like lemon drops, high above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me. Oh, somewhere over the rainbow. Sorry. somewhere over the rainbow. Birds fly, and the dreams that you dare to, oh, dreams really do come true. Wait, what? And the dreams that you dream too, oh, why can't I don't dream. Oh, it goes into the other part. There we go. Well, I see trees of green and red roses too. Oh, I'll watch them bloom for me and you. Oh, I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh, I see skies of blue and I see clouds of white and the brightness of day. I like the dark and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Wait, man, this is choppy. Well, I'm choppy. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow. Wait. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people passing by. And I see friends shaking hands, singing, how do you do? They're really saying, how do you play this note? I love you. I hear babies cry and I watch them grow, and they'll learn much more than we'll know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh, someday I wish upon a star. Wake up. Someday I wish upon a star. Wake up where the clouds far behind me. Oh, your trouble melts like lemon drops high above the chimney top. That's where you'll find me. Oh, somewhere over the rainbow, way up high. And the dreams that you dreamed dare to, oh, why can't I ooh, ooh, Well, thank you for bearing with me on that one. That was kind of a struggle. It actually kind of took twice as long that it should have. Anyways, on to the verse. So the verse is actually multiple verses. I'm just gonna probably just start reading off sections. I hope that's all right with you. If not, talk in the comments. Even though there's barely any comments ever. People just never have anything to say ever. I guess I'm the only one that actually talks here. Anyways, it's actually from it's in the Old Testament. If you're not familiar, this is Numbers 32 verses 21 through 41. It's this little section right here. It's actually titled Balaam's Donkey. Remember how I mentioned there was a donkey in the Bible that talked? You're about to hear the story. So, Balaam got up in the morning. Balaam got up in the morning, saddled his donkey, and went with the Moabite officials. But God was very angry when he went, and the angel of the Lord stood in the road to oppose him. Balaam was riding on his donkey, and his two servants were with him. When the donkey saw the angel of the Lord standing in the road with a drawn sword in his hand, it turned off the road into a field. Balaam beat it to get it back on the road. You're beating your donkey. That's not nice. When the angel of the Lord stood in when the angel of the Lord stood in a narrow path through the vineyards with walls on both sides, then the angel of the Lord stood in the narrow path through the vineyards with walls on both sides. When the donkey saw the angel of the Lord, it pressed close to the wall, crushing Balaam's foot against it. So he beat the donkey again. When the angel of the Lord moved on ahead and stood in a narrow place where there was no room to turn, either to the right or to the left, when the donkey saw, then the angel of the Lord. Anyways, when the donkey saw the angel of the Lord, it lay down under Balaam, and he was angry and beat it with his staff. Then the Lord opened the donkey's mouth, and it said to Balaam, "What have I done to you to make you beat me these 3 times?" Balaam answered the donkey, like you do, "You have made a fool of me. If only I had a sword in my hand, I would kill you right now." And then I had this next verse underlined because it blew me away. The donkey said to Balaam, Am I not your own donkey, which you have always ridden to this day? Have I been in the habit of doing this to you? No, he said. I'm going to come back to that after I finish. Now, verse 31. Then the Lord opened Balaam's eyes, and he saw the angel of the Lord standing in the road with his sword drawn. So he bowed low and fell face down. Then I have this one underlined as well. The angel of the Lord asked him, "Why have you beaten your donkey these 3 times? I have come here to oppose you because your path is a reckless one before me. The donkey saw me and turned away from me these 3 times. If it had not turned away, I would certainly have killed you by now. But I would have spared you." And then I got this next one underlined as well. I'm gonna go over these 3. Balaam said to the angel of the Lord, "I have sinned. I did not realize you were standing in the road to oppose me. Now if you are displeased, I will go back." Now, verse 35. The angel of the Lord said to Balaam, "Go with the men, but speak only what I tell you." So Balaam went with Balak's officials. When Balak heard that Balaam was coming, he went out to meet him at the Moabite town on the Arnon border at the edge of his territory. Balak said to Balaam, "Did I not send you an urgent summons? Why didn't you come to me? Am I really not able to reward you?" Well, I have come to you now," Balaam replied, "but I can't say whatever I please. I must speak only what God puts in my mouth." Then Balaam went to Balak to Huzoth. These are some funny names, aren't they? Balak, that one too. Balak sacrificed cattle and sheep and gave some to Balaam and the officials who were with him. The next morning, Balak took Balaam up to Bamoth Bal. These are a lot of B's. Why? And from there he could see the outskirts of the Israelite camp. So, from that, the verses that just blew me away was verse 30, 32, and 34. Skip a verse, I guess. So, in verse 30, it talks about, the donkey replied, aren't I like your trusty steed? Like why are you beating me when I'm like going away from a trail? Shouldn't you trust me during this time? That donkey actually in that verse kind of represents God and why people don't really trust his his decisions, his paths for your life. Because if Balaam was to stay on that path, he would have gotten killed. He would have gotten killed by that that angel. And so my neck. So anyways, he should have just trusted the donkey. But then he didn't realize until the angel appeared and was like, "Hey, I'm right here. You need to go away because this path is reckless, and if you come down here, I'm gonna kill you." Now I don't believe God is that severe anymore. Well, I guess in a lot of situations he is, but you don't see it in the everyday. But that's still if you, even if the road is reckless and you don't know it, and you feel something to pull you away from it, where am I going with this? Anyways, no. Trust that God is working right now, because in this coronavirus, it is bigger than any of us. It's almost something that we can't control. And we're trying to control it with this this shelter in place, these laws. We just need to trust God that he's working it right now. Trust him that he's doing something good. And we might not fully understand it, but he understands it perfectly. And that's all that matters right now is what he understands. Not what we understand, but what he understands. If we only go by what we understand, we are going to drive ourselves crazy not knowing what's going on here. And that's what a lot of people have done. So now let's move on to the verse 32. The angel of the Lord asked him, "Why have you beaten your donkey these 3 times? I've come here to oppose you because your path is a reckless one before me." Another thing, you might be on a path that you don't know is reckless, that you don't know is going to tear you apart, and it's just I'm just going to say it like this. You got to stop. Go, if there's somebody in your life that you trust fully, even God, and you trust them all fully, and they're saying, "Hey, you need to step off of this path and go onto that path because this path is dangerous," and you stay on the path that you are, it's not gonna turn out positive for you. It's probably gonna destroy you. Is probably what it's gonna do, because you're supposed to do what God says, and if he could be telling somebody, "Hey, this guy is about to go into the Princess Bride, the pitch of despair. Get him off that track and go into the whatever that valley was that they had in that movie." Just don't if you feel like if you feel like there's someone there telling you to go to the other path because this one's like a path of destruction, it's probably God. If you actually think about it, if you pray, if you fast, you'll learn who it really is. And if it comes out to be God, you gotta listen to him, because if you don't, it's not gonna end up good. He knows what's best for you. He knows what's worst for you. And if he knows those two things, then you should probably listen to him. So how long am I going on time? Oh, wow. Anyways, so then in verse 34, Balaam said to the angel of the Lord, I have sinned. I did not realize you were standing in the road to oppose me. Now if you are displeased, I will go back. Now this is Balaam realizing that he needs to, like, this road that he's gone down is not the one that God meant for him. So he's going to go back to, like, the way that he came and go off, like, just go in a different direction. I actually experienced this, like, when I like was a dropout. I was thinking, well, I guess this is it. I'll just go down this path. So I was just working 40 hours a week at a shoe repair shop, which I love. I love that shop. But anyways, I digress. There was that time where I just came back from a Bible study, just all hyped up on coffee, and I just thought, this is not God's plan for me. I gotta go back to school. Because the path that I was going down, it was a path of just that was gonna almost ruin my life. And if I didn't go down that path, I wouldn't have gone back. I wouldn't have decided to go back to church. I wouldn't have read this book called The Dude's Guide to Manhood, which encouraged me to build a better community, which wouldn't have led me to go to Northwood's church, their college life, which wouldn't have led me to hang out with them after church at B-Dubs, which wouldn't have led me up to meet this girl Sarah, which wouldn't have led me up to actually be going out with her, and now I'm with her, which wouldn't have led me to go up to reading this other book that is just phenomenal, that is just like turning my life around, which also would not have led up to this right here. I was talking to her when I was just came up with a thought. I need to make a vlog every day during this quarantine, to keep my sanity. And I know that this is probably I've probably lost a chain somewhere without describing it, and I'm sorry if I did, but it is just, I wouldn't find it as, I wouldn't actually explain this as a path. I would explain it more as following a chain, a legit chain, those big ones that you see on those big cargo ships. It's if this chain is more like a tree, a tree of chain made out of chain, and you're going down this one line of chain. You're thinking, all right, this is pretty good, and you pass one line of chain that's also connected. You just think, oh no, I'm not going to go down that chain. I'm going to go down this one right here, and it turns out that chain is going to be a dead end, or those chains are going to be red hot, they're going to become weak and brittle, and they're going to hurt your hands, and they're going to almost ruin you because they get heavier and they get rougher. If you realize what's going on here, you need to go back and follow that other path so you can go back the chain and go back to that to where you should have gone in the first place, where your donkey was leading you in the first place. I don't know, that's just how I'm taking this passage. That was Numbers 22 verses 21 through 39, or no, 21 through 41. I hope you got something out of that. I definitely did, especially while I was talking, just right here. Anyways, I love you all. I hope you have an amazing day, whatever day you're watching this. Leave a like if you liked it, and yeah, stay awesome. I hope you have a great day. Please don't go insane. Goodbye.